friends. Welcome to the Ancient Health Podcast, where East meets West. I'm your host, Dr. Chris Motley. And today I have a very special guest, person I am a very big fan of. I've used her book, The Epstein-Barr Virus Solution. It talks about the hidden, undiagnosed epidemic of Epstein-Barr viral issues. And her name is Dr. Kasia Kines. And Dr. Kines, thank you so much for joining us today.
It is my pleasure. I'm so glad we found you. A couple of people in my community alerted me to you and your wonderful podcast. So I jumped on it. I listened to it. It's like, can you get me to talk on his podcast about this? We have things to talk about. It was wonderful.
Oh, definitely. I'm not kidding. I'm very, very thankful. And I just don't say that because when I said I used your book as a very big Bible of my checking and exploration of Epstein-Barr virus. And Doc, with Epstein-Barr virus, I know we can dive in. We're going to have a really good conversation for all the people out there listening who have Epstein-Barr virus. I know somebody who does, and they need practical solutions and some practical points about Epstein-Barr. This is the podcast for you guys, and to forward this out to as many people as you can. Doc, can you give us a backdrop of yourself? Can you give us an introduction and let us know about yourself?
I'm not a wounded healer, so I didn't come into EBV because I got sick. And I think that's important to say because I have more objectivity.
Mm-hmm.
So before EBV, I specialized in the complicated cases. So people with chronic illness when everything failed, when their doctor failed, the cases that we traditionally get when everything else fails. So, EBV comes in different forms, different presentations, and can be really misleading and confusing. And unless you have years of clinical experience looking at things, you cannot discern.
Mm.
And so I think I was really lucky because I had so much experience that it was like fitting like a glove once I saw what I had been missing.
Mm-hmm.
Because like many people in our field, I was hitting the wall with some of the patients and we don't want to give up on them, but we just don't know and I remember some cases when I didn't understand the virus either. And so it completely changed everything. And I just never stopped. And so then what I saw is like Medical Medium came up with his first book, way on the extreme one side. Medical community is way on the other extreme. There was nothing in between. That's what I found. So I said, well, wait a second. So I started to study the lab testing and interpretation. And what a mess that was. But I studied the medical literature and I figured out what it was. And I started to get my patients to test and I started to see patterns. I like patterns. I'm patterns oriented. It's not just a one-timer. It has to be like, what is predictable? What is like 80% of the time? What is it? And so once I figured it out, I started to see it everywhere. And I still see it everywhere. I was just talking to a bank officer today and she checked my business. So she did the quiz. I have a free quiz of EBV. And then she told me her medical history. She's like, yep, she has it. Thyroid removed, 10 years ago. They're looking for lupus. She's still not well. It's like, yep. It's everywhere. It is everywhere.
It's everywhere.
Everywhere. And
Yes.
so, shame on medical community. That's all I can say. I am just beyond frustrated that they still don't see it. I don't know what else I have to do or say. So the book I wrote was like 1/3 is I wrote for doctors because I thought, well, somebody has to tell the story and like put it in categories, line it up black and white, because doctors don't have time that I put reading and understanding. They still have very obsolete medical training, which is awful. And so, and 2/3 is for patients. So oftentimes my hope was that patients would give it to the doctors would give it to the patients, so they will start using factual information and then build from there.
Yes.
And it's been happening, thanks goodness. But I have to tell you that I'm disappointed because oftentimes a practitioner or physician comes to me to do the training because they have their EBV themselves. Mostly physicians are not not looking to train in it. I have training for physicians. I train them in this methodology, and it's, where is everybody? People need you, doctors. Get on
Yes.
the get on the train. Sorry about that. I can rant about it, but it is critical because your patients, you guys, fall through the cracks, and then for the next 10, 20, 30 years, they're pursuing all the wrong therapies, medical treatments, useless lab testing, expenses. They're drained physically, mentally, financially, and they have 20, 30% improvement to show for it. That is
Wow.
not acceptable.
No.
That's
No.
what I see. That's what I see.
That's what, when you see that many cases of the physicians having the Epstein-Barr virus, we need them to be trained to be able to help the individual with Epstein-Barr that are coming in.
Right.
When you started to see the prominence of the Epstein-Barr virus everywhere, and you saw how much it was affecting like thyroid, was there any type of with your book, any type of resistance to learning, or is it more people just like engulfed it because they have not been educated on Epstein-Barr virus? Like, are people hungry for it?
Well, the book, over the years, I still get random emails from people that I don't know thanking me for the book.
Mm-hmm.
And thanking me because their doctor, they gave it to the doctors and said, my doctor gave me your book. It's wonderful.
Wow.
It's
Wow.
wonderful. And there's a lot of testimonials on Amazon, like people talk about the book. I don't know who they are mostly.
Mm-hmm.
But it was written a number of years ago and we move forward. So, so we have 3 more books that I need to write.
3 more. All right.
Yeah, so
Yes.
the cookbook,
Yes.
but I just don't have capacity right now. The cookbook. The other one is going to be a companion. So what we've learned since the last book.
Mm-hmm.
But I came up with the third one today with my team. Actually, you will be the first to know. I do a lot of Q&A workshops that are free,
Mm-hmm.
and in our free Facebook community, there's lots of Q's from them and A's from me. And we have a database, and we decided, because I'm stressed for time right now, let's put together a book, and it's going to be called "All the Burning Questions for EBV You Had Your Doctors Failed to Answer."
Wow.
And I'll be answering them, and most of them are already answered. So we're gonna have, maybe 50 questions about labs that everybody has been asking.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's important. It's going to be like a happy hour, very easy read, no medical references. It's just for people like, what do I do if I have this? What does it mean? Like everything practical that I've been asked millions of times every week, every day. We have that database. We started to do it. So very easy for us to put together and for me to plug in answers because I do it every day.
Yeah.
Certain things. So we're really excited about that with my team because that will help. One recent thing you may not be aware of, I've been doing regular Facebook Live trainings, and then we put it on YouTube and on our website. So we have more than 50. We have a YouTube channel. We have more than 50 trainings, 10 to 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Me just talking. And these are very relevant and practical topics: EBV and depression, EBV and anxiety, EBV and environmental toxins, EBV and this, EBV and that, EBV and selenium. And it's thorough, it's organized. I practice, I prepare, and people come out of woodwork and tell me that these are life-changing too. Very
Mm.
practical. People say, oh, I get it. So we're really right now focusing on simple information for everyday person who is struggling and doesn't really understand, and doctors don't make sense to validate.
Mm.
Because oftentimes people are not able to read the book and retain it. They have too much brain fog and cognitive decline and fatigue. It's like, they don't retain information. So we're looking at different ways to provide very simple information so
Mm.
people can make informed decisions, make better choices,
Mm.
and not waste years of their lives and thousands of dollars. That's my concern, is ozone therapy, this, that, it's like there's simple
Definitely whenever
groundwork. Yeah.
Definitely when you have like the amount of therapies that are out there, I know many individuals um, out there, when they hear about the word Epstein-Barr virus, I'll say, like so many patients, doc, that come in to the office, some have heard about Epstein-Barr virus. Some don't even know that it exists, but they're riddled with it. They have it all over their system. Could you, because when I learned about it from your book, when I was really diving into deep, I didn't realize how invasive and how
Mhm.
prominent it was. And I know it's going back and probably giving a basic view, bird's eye view. But can you give people like just a basic bird's eye view of what the Epstein-Barr virus does and like which organ it tries to go after?
So it's a virus that's been on this planet for about 10 millions of years. And statistically, 95% of all of us carry it. Kind of like Candida. It's like
Wow.
we all have it. But it doesn't
Wow.
mean that it's like we all have all kinds of pathogens and
Mm-hmm.
parasites that we have not identified yet, and all who knows what else. We uh, there's more cells of non-human origin in us than ours, or DNA, right? It's like more DNA of other species in us than ours. So the immune system is the one that tackles, and then mostly you may have a slip and you don't even know. A little sniffle, it takes care of it.
Mm.
The problem I'm seeing, and the big factor is, if I really want to zoom out, you want me to zoom
Yeah.
out? Big. Number one is trauma stress. We're talking
Mm.
about big, substantial life stress, losses, grief, trauma, um, abuse, all kinds
Mm.
of stressors, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Astronauts in space apparently are given antiviral medications prophylactically because they have a higher risk of reactivation.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. I talked to NASA scientists. I'm so excited because I saw the study. It's like, do you guys need any help? You
You're
don't
ready
know
to
that,
do
but
it, Doc. You're ready to go. Yes.
ready to go. There's actually a Netflix series away where they're flying to the moon, to Mars, and one of the astronauts has a viral encephalitis, acute EBV in his brain, and they have IV, plug him in, save his life right on the ship. EBV. Yeah, I know. It's coming.
What?
I know.
Wow.
I
Wow.
know. I know.
That's amazing.
It's amazing. So I talk about these things in those video trainings because, like, to really bring it home, this is the
Yes.
real, practicality of it. So, so the trauma, the stress, when you really thin down, like when you're really vulnerable, stress is
Yes.
the biggest reason why people become really physiologically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually vulnerable.
Mm.
And the way you look at the viruses, it's an opportunist.
Mm.
So I did have a little bout of it myself, but it took a lot of it to take me down. And it only lasted 2 days because I knew what to do. And that's what I train. Like once I train people, they only need 48 hours to, if they miss it and it comes back, to turn it off. But you have to have the understanding, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it takes a lot for me to get it, but people are more vulnerable. It is an opportunist. That's what it is.
Mm. Opportunistic. Yes.
Opportunistic. So you give it terrain, it's gonna go for it. And the second biggest thing,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't think anybody talks about it. I hinted a little bit in the book in the last chapter, but that book, that wasn't its goal. So it's the so statistically, in terms of research,
Mm-hmm.
every species of animals on our planet has about 20% of individuals in the species that are empathetic individuals. We call them
Mm.
empaths, right?
Wow. Yes. Definitely. Yes. Yes.
My program, for example, my community, I would say it's like 95. We
Yeah.
have we joke about it, like, welcome to the overachiever, overgiver, empath international anonymous club. Because when you have your heart on your sleeve and you overgive, oftentimes it is a result of trauma,
Mm-hmm.
childhood issues, when you overcompensate the lack of
Mm.
love and not having been seen.
Mm.
So you become a healer, or you want to be a healer, or you don't protect your energy field and your personal energy bubble. People
Mm.
invade it, you overgive, and you keep leaking like a leaky bucket. And you are
Yes.
not aware of your energy, the frequencies, all that another that other layer. So we actually have training on what it means to be empathetic. There's a documentary. We had a watch party.
Had a
Because
watch party. That's what
a
I'm
watch
talking
party
about.
after the
Yes.
yes we did. It's on Amazon, and then we did a post watch party discussion and recorded it, because people have to understand who they are in order to understand why they are so vulnerable to this virus, and their neighbor isn't, or their spouse isn't, even if they
Mm.
kiss, right?
Yes. Yes. Even if they get,
why
yeah.
why do spouses not automatically come with EBV too? Because everybody's different. And
Mm.
why are most people with EBV women? Why are women more likely statistically to develop autoimmunity? They
Yes.
they respond to stress differently. They lose much more serotonin faster in stress than men. This is different chemistry.
Wow. I did
And
not
when
realize
you're
that.
under stress, cortisol actually feeds the virus. So it's like you have chemistry that aligns, and then
Hmm.
the virus comes. So this is in a nutshell. Is it different from what you thought?
Well, truly, when you talked about women getting it more, and you say like people who lose their energy, so that would be a mixture in the sense that a lot of women, they give of themselves. They're, even if their mothers or not, they're just a natural instinct probably to give more of themselves. And you and I know is like I've been in practice for over 20 something years. I feel this like yes, giving of myself and not filling my bucket, like you said, it's just draining.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom's had Epstein-Barr viral indicators off the charts, but I know I've had Epstein-Barr, and I've been doing my best to try to clean that up. So when you have that, like looking at it as a trauma aspect, it's opportunistic, right? So
Yeah.
that means that if somebody goes through this trauma or they're giving themselves too much, then there's an opportunity that the
Mm-hmm.
virus sees it weakens you. So is the goal, Doc, that the virus knows that you're tired and it's going to go after another cell or something to help to get more nutrients or to survive?
Not necessarily. So the virus is not even alive. It's very mechanical.
Really?
It's not viruses are not alive. It's like mechanical things, like computer virus. So we can take our personal view of the virus as a monster. It's very objective, black and white. So let's say
Mm.
when you are under stress, all of this. I'm going to push to the choir, but I'm going to put a spin on it. So the stress hormones feed the virus,
Okay.
but also what we know from studies is the moment your nutritional status starts dropping, that's when the virus becomes more virulent, so more aggressive. That's studies. There's a couple of studies
Oh.
on selenium and vitamin E. You can imagine if they do more studies, they'll probably confirm more nutrients.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So now, what happens when a person is under stress? They usually don't sleep enough. They don't eat well. They
Hmm.
might go for more sugary, salty chips and stuff like that. So by default, the intake of nutrients drops in terms of what the human body requires.
Hmm.
They may undereat. They may overeat wrong foods, and when you're under stress, of course, you leak your nutrients. You lose a lot of nutrients in stress.
Yes.
And then
Yes.
you don't absorb because, it's run or freeze or fight. There's no digestion going on. The body's not interested. Like, people don't understand we only have 15 minutes for acute stress, like zebras. We're not different.
We're like
we
the
can't
zebras, Doc.
we can't constantly be in stress, but our primitive part of the brain is constantly producing up to 65,000 thoughts a day, and most of them produce stress.
Wow. 65,000 and most of them produce stress.
Yes, because I caught myself like a minute ago. I was thinking about, for no reason whatsoever, I'm catching myself. Oh, I'm thinking about a sci-fi movie, and that's a dramatic sci-fi movie. That's not a Hallmark movie. Why am I thinking about something so negative when people are slaughtered? And that's, even that. But
Yeah.
mostly people are worrying, how am I going to pay the bills? If I go there, I'll have to check the bank. And last month I didn't pay the bill, and we're constantly chewing on information that is not positive.
Hmm.
It's prone to be stressful,
Ah,
and we're not
yes.
aware of it. So there's exercises, like I'm doing exercises on my own right now because I'm in transition, selling home, looking for a farm. Like to just focus on everything I love, and I'm driving. Is like, I love my car. I love my watch. I do. I
Yeah.
love this. I love this scarf. I love these trees. So we can get ourselves into a higher frequency, which
Yes.
is a healing frequency, which is not a match to the virus. So you turn off the
Really?
stress response. Yeah. I mean, being in stress is like number one.
So number one, Doc, and I'm not trying to interrupt. I love this combo.
Yeah.
So if you have the stress and you say it's mechanical, the viruses are not alive. They are opportunistic. You have a stress, like you love your car. You're exuberant about
Yeah.
the things that are happier to you. But once you go into that stress state, then it's
Mhm.
it's going to
So
get
it's
you if you're not
protecting. Yeah.
careful.
Yeah. Yeah. This is how we are wired, unfortunately. And this is because human life is complicated, and there's a lot of
Yes.
trauma, and the older you get, the more, because kids are growing up, your parents are deteriorating, and there's a lot of complexities, more and more, and
Oh,
then you're
yes.
aging, so you start to have health problems. So it's like the bucket is never empty of stuff. It's like you're adding, and there's a tipping point.
Totally. There's that tipping point. But Doc, when you get to that tipping point, and let's say the stress, that most of our thoughts in a day are stressful, and that depletes us, the virus shoots out, it's mechanical. Is
Yeah.
there particular, like you said, it was going to the thyroid, since it's a stress component? This is a naive question. I'm not sure, Doc. From what I've read, since you're in a stress state, does it particularly go after the thyroid because the thyroid's a stress gland? Is that what happens?
So yeah, so it depends on the person, depends on the age. I think, I don't know if there's logic to it. Thyroid, there is a process in which cortisol affects I think the conversion to places. It affects the information from the pituitary to the cells, I think. And the
Hmm.
second one is it may block the conversion of T4 to T3. So stress, cortisol itself affects the thyroid, but
Wow. Yes.
there's any organ that can be affected. Some people have connective tissue disorders. Some people have. I recently realized, I was going to say no, there's no connection, but I went to PubMed and I surprised myself. Diabetes type 2. Diabetes type 2. Because the woman was explaining everything about her story. It's like, that really sounds like everything like lines up, but what the heck about diabetes type 2? Diabetes type 1. Yes, we have studies, and there it is. And another one recently, last week, we both laughed because I was shocked myself. She
Hmm.
had a particular um, myopathy in her heart,
Okay.
medicated, like nobody can figure out what it is. But then, if you look at her context, her life, everything else, it's like, wait a second, let me go to PubMed, and there it is.
There it
Because
is.
any myopathy, any involvement in muscle inflammation of the muscle, whether it's the
Wow.
eye, whether it's the heart, it's rare, but it's there in the studies. Like, holy moly, I would never even think about it after all these years myself. So
Truly. And when
why
when it
you
goes.
have to you have to look at the whole picture of the person. Like, what else is, like,
Mm,
what else has happened? How is this all connected? Because
yes.
it may not be, but people that come to me, typically it is like, yeah, it is.
I love how you connected where if the individuals, like, they have muscle pain or they have vision issues, they have hearing issues, which one thing that I really was so surprised um, about how much it affected my mom. And I know that, you know, I'm not an expert like you, Doc, but I'm just so surprised truly with how many people that come in with Epstein-Barr and the degree of symptoms, because it
Yeah,
doesn't really, it's not really like choosy. Like you said, it could go into their brain. It could go in, is that right? It can go into their muscles. It can go to any type of tissue pretty much.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Well,
It can go into the brain. It can go into your inner ear. It can go into your liver. You can have autoimmune hepatitis, connective tissue muscles, um, neuropathy. Can get into nerves. Uh,
wow.
I've had
All those
people
places.
losing hearing because of it. Vertigo, dizziness. People think they have POTS. All kinds of stuff.
It's,
And
but
so,
when it happens, Doc, do they, okay, so it's going after all these areas. It's opportunistic. You're stressed. I love all these avenues. Not that it's happening to people, but for people listening, people may even ask, like, where do you get it from? Like, because,
we all
it's
have it.
going,
We all have
we
it.
all have it. So it doesn't
We all
even
have
matter. Like, we don't,
it. It
that's
doesn't
what I was
matter.
wondering. Why do you even worry about where it's coming from? We all have it.
No, no, I have like pregnant moms worried I will get it, through placenta. It's like, probably, but it doesn't mean your kid will be sick. It really doesn't matter. It's like epigenetics. It's what you do.
Uh,
And this is why, like, I really focus on joy, love frequency, joy, people being seen and heard in their beautiful, brilliance, so they can come to who they are and raise that frequency, and then pursue the passions and the reasons they are on the planet. When they go in this direction, it's really hard for the virus to do anything, because it's a very different, like, it's a very different frequency. And
ooh,
you
so
are
that has
not
a lot to
under
do.
chronic stress when you are self-actualizing and pursuing your dreams. Like, I don't have a choice. I have to pursue my dreams because I have to walk the walk for people. But I also am driven. I have to do what I love,
Hmm.
and I have to have joy in it. And that's what I teach. And that's the like full recovery, because people build their strengths, and it's an internal strength that nobody can take away from you. Once you also have the, you know, the mechanical, the physical, the physiological process to rely on, when how to physically first recover from EBV. You have to get this training, but that's half of the journey. The more fun
Mm.
is like, get higher than maintain that, and that will not be an issue. Where is your life?
So when you talk about the Epstein Barr, about up leveling and frequencies, I love the way you say, like, how you love things around you and you're creating a different vibration
Yeah,
frequency. So everybody has the Epstein-Barr virus,
yeah,
but then it does depend about the frequencies you emit or the frequencies you produce that makes it more virulent. Like, basically, it
yeah,
could go a little crazier.
yeah. So this the stress and the diet and the nutritional status, all these are kind of our side effects. Because for me, is like the big question that I ask people that are chronically ill with EBV is either, how much trauma have you endured, or where did you lose your North Star? What happened? What happened to your
Ah,
life? Because it's serious stuff. Something really
yes.
serious in your life that throws you on your back, you devastated, and the virus, like, because, a little stress here and there, everybody has. We need that to sustain life. But we're talking about big things,
Big things.
big things that everybody remembers that moment.
So,
Something happened as a kid, abuse and this and that, surgery, somebody died and two parents died, or whatever that is,
wow.
because there is a reason for the stress. So stress is a reason of something that happened to you or in your life, right?
So it came at a time
When you
for
were so, you hurt, something happened.
you felt that drain. And I like to reiterate things, Doc, because I'm a slow learner. Like, I learn things by, like,
Yep. Saying it.
simplifying it out. So some people out there suffering with Epstein-Barr virus need to go back in their history
Mm.
and think about a major emotional, spiritual, physical, like, traumatic event.
Yep.
Is that right? Okay.
Yep.
And When you found this, doc, even in yourself, or you look at your, you look at the clients, patients, and they have that. When you start the process and how you would go into treating it or helping them with that, what are some of the emotional traumatic ways to identify it, or is that or a way to see what their trauma is and how they would release it? Would it be like talk therapy, or is it just the whole exploration of what is the actual trauma? Like you tell them, you need to go find
So
this out.
yeah, that's a great question. And I have to clarify, I don't treat because I'm not a medical doctor. I'm a doctor of clinical nutrition. So
Mm-hmm.
I would be liable legally if I was saying that I'm treating. So
Definitely. Okay.
I would say, okay, now I lost my train of thought. You were asking me,
If they had a trauma and they said they have to identify it, or
okay,
do they go back?
yes. So I'm not a big fan of talk therapy because I don't believe you need years. It can help some people. It depends on, and like for many people, it may be the solution. But if you have EBV chronically, I find EMDR is very effective and fast and simple
EMDR.
because it doesn't involve any emotions, any thinking, any processing. You just do the part when the eyes follow and the brain rewires. I know tapping is also helpful to rewire. I hate tapping because it's too much work for me, but but it's very effective. And I like to really inspire people. So I like to be audacious. So we have some workshops even when it's like, okay, imagine that EBV is behind you. Who are you? Who do you want? Who do you want to
Mm,
be?
yes.
So you have no regrets. How do you want to be of service? Where do you want to make a difference? What is your zone of genius when you can, do it all day and forget about being paid and then they pay you? We are wired to be creative. We are wired to pursue something that we love.
Mm-hmm.
And typically it's of service. And we are all kind of healers. A teacher is a healer, an artist is a healer, a doctor is a healer. That everybody that contributes and is of service makes this place a better place. So
Mm,
there's that trauma, but you can only steer in that trauma. That's the history of what happened. If we inspire people to look out beyond this bucket when they've been,
mm-hmm.
this is like up leveling,
Yeah. Yep.
um, and keep becoming. Like I'm working on it myself. Like keep becoming. Who am I going to become next? To evolve, to be able to open that heart more,
Mm-hmm.
to understand your frequency, your energy bubble, to be respectful of it and protective of it, especially as an empath. So
Wow.
you don't give it away.
Yes.
I remember one of our students, we talked about it and she did it. She said to her boss, "You hired me to be paralegal part-time. I am not going to do Fridays. If you want to fire me, fine." She felt like we had that discussion. I insisted you have to tell your truth.
Tell
And
your
she was
truth.
very
Tell your truth.
courageous. She did it. And he says, "I love your work. Of course. We're not going to do Friday. No problem." Most people was like, when people that are very empathetic and giving, they have a very hard time saying no when they need to say no. They keep giving.
They just
And that's
keep
a
giving
problem.
without.
That's a problem. You're going to get sick somewhere because it's your weak link. You need to build it up and understand it's okay to say no. That boss has more respect for her. She's awesome. He's going to keep her like, okay, yeah, I know. I pushed the boundaries. I wanted Friday. That was not a deal
Mm-hmm.
initially. And so just remembering that you are worth it, that your word is worth it, and that
Mm-hmm.
you have a stand and you have a voice. What is throat chakra?
Throat
Thyroid.
chakra. I hear. Yes.
Thyroid right there.
That's exactly one of
So
the things that I love you talking about. It is uh, for everyone listening is like when you have the throat chakra, when you have the thyroid sitting in that little gland right here. I always think that when people have the restriction of speaking out or speaking their voice
truth,
out,
the truth, yeah.
um, and this is why I'm asking too, Doc. Do you think like if I don't speak out my voice, literally that's a constriction of your muscles. It's a constriction of your spine, your neurological system saying, I'm not going to speak. Don't speak out. Don't tell what you're thinking. And then those muscles get tight. And then
Yeah.
it gets clammed up right here, right? Is
And
that
then
is
your
that where?
diaphragm gets tucked in. Maybe you'll develop hiatal hernia, and yeah, absolutely.
Yes, yes.
Mhm.
That because when you start to see that individuals don't speak the truth, one thing I really think is amazing, um, Doc, is that in Chinese medicine, when you say I'm going to give without getting, the like I know we all associate Epstein-Barr virus, or many people do, with like the spleen or by the lymph nodes, and its attack on that. I like to go into that as well, but that's one of the main emotions of the spleen and the lymph system in Chinese medicine, is that you're so concerned for everyone else, but you're not concerned. You almost neurologically and emotionally signal. They say
Really?
yes,
I
like
did not know that.
in that. Oh, yes, I like we can. I'm glad that
Interesting.
one of the things in Chinese medicine is that they say that if you send out the white blood cells to the extremities to go clean everything, they say the more you think about I'm not worth it, or don't worry about me to myself, pull all the white blood cells back in, and it'll accumulate back on the spleen, so you don't your lymph gets really congested, and then maybe the Epstein Barr's more opportunistic, but
That is
like
huge.
yes, the whole mindset, right? The mindset's like, no, 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 don't worry about me. I'm fine. Everybody
That
else
is
is important than
that
me.
is huge. That is huge. That is huge.
Wow.
Yeah, I love this. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Mm.
Wow. Wow. And so when the stress comes up and the spiritual aspect or the emotions, like the thyroid gets locked down, you can't speak your truth.
Mm.
You're noticing that the Epstein Barr's coming into play. Is it when you have a system to say this is what you need to do to help with the Epstein Barr? You need to go do EMDR. You need to do those kind of therapies to find out. Is it where they're taking the supplements? I know it happens. It's a whole system, but
Yeah,
it
so
really is to where to raise them to an awareness. Is that what we're saying?
yeah, the first thing I have to do is provide hope,
Oh
because
yeah.
people don't believe that, it's they've been through the ringer. I mean, they've seen doctors. Why would this work? Everything. They've tried everything. They've tried 15 diets and every protocol to the dot, everything that doctor says, 15 doctors. It's like people that come to me, they're very diligent. They want to get better.
Mhm.
Um, I can't talk about this too much, although at the beginning, because we really need to focus on physicality. So in the first month, I only need them to get orientation in the program and then open their mouth and follow instructions on supplements. That's it. Because I need
Mm.
to start turning down the virus so the brain fog starts easing on them, and that overburdening fatigue starts to drop. So then I can ask them to, let's clean up the kitchen, let's go, and then we can discuss the stress and what it means and how to, and then we can discuss spirituality and heart and all. We talk about these things on coaching calls, so people that know me know that it's going to be part of it. But I can't expect them to do any of that until they have more physical stamina. They can be more present and process
Oh
things better, because they come so fatigued and brain foggy, they think they have cognitive decline.
wow. And
Yeah.
when they come to that point, when they're that brain fog and they have that
Mhm.
much cloudiness in their head, and I don't want to get off track here, Doc. I don't want to take away from the conversation, but when people do get this, is it that the viruses cause more like internal toxicities to erupt, or is that the virus component, the mechanics of the virus is creating a lot of toxicities? Like they can't get rid of it.
I think both. So the first thing that the virus creates is oxidative stress, so a lot of free radical
Mm,
damage.
mm.
So if it's in the brain or if it passes the blood-brain barrier, you're going to have, in the bloodstream will be just toxic with it. And so this is why I don't really like protocols that cause the death of the virus, because you create more of the toxic debris. Sometimes the dead debris is equally toxic or more, and people are so
Whoa.
fragile, it's going to throw them over the edge. So in that community, when they go through functional doctors, the doctors put them on detox protocol, heavy metal detox protocol, and those people get really sick because they are really compromised. You have to take baby steps and be very slow. The virus is really like taking over. You have all these infected cells. You so nicely talked about them in the podcast. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's like it's the whole thing. They're just like walking in this mud.
Hmm.
It's
Walking in the
surreal.
mud, and it
Yeah.
when they're sludging through it, and that so then if they do a
Powering
protocol,
through. Powering
yeah,
through. That's what I
powering
say.
through,
I'm powering
powering
through.
through.
Yeah.
The words like they're powering through,
Powering through.
and they realize like to the extent that it could create more toxicities if you do one of those protocols.
Yeah.
Do you like to first, let's say, not use a supplement or a compound to go kill them? I love your protocols. I don't want to take away from what you're going to show about in the
I don't
book,
kill
but
anything.
yeah, you don't kill anything because you don't treat like you don't kill anything. But
We don't kill
um,
anything. You can't kill it off. It's been
mm,
here on 10 millions of years.
so it's been here
We
millions of
all
years.
have it. You know, it's very rare that somebody doesn't have the virus in them. It's like it's our resident.
Yeah, it's like symbiosis.
It's we don't know. I don't know if it's symbiosis, if it's like I would have we could fantasize. I don't know. I don't know, but I would say epigenetics. So the more toxicity your body has to bear with, the easier it is for EBV to activate. And so, for example, one big component that people don't appreciate enough is environmental toxicity. Well
Mm,
studied,
yeah,
well studied. And if we're coming towards, as we speak, we're coming towards July the 4th. So let me just reiterate, if anybody has EBV, please don't sit by a big fire pits. Don't sit where your neighbors having the firework show. Don't go downtown. Don't inhale the fireworks smoke because that will, and wildfires as well, that will reactivate EBV. There's lots of
really.
chemicals. Yeah. We talk about it every summer, reminding everyone, have air filtration in the house, wear a mask, sit away from the wind, because people doing great and suddenly they spiral, they don't know why, and that creates huge anxiety because then people are confused.
Hmm.
I've been doing everything right. What's wrong with me?
Hmm.
But it's just the pollution in the air, and dioxin is very dangerous, but it will reactivate EBV. So
Wow.
I think yeah. So these, I think, as a species, we come to a point where the human body is really exposed to excessive amounts of toxicity. And the
Mm,
body has not evolved to cope with so much of it. Plus the toxicity in relationships, toxicity from stress from thought pattern, you know, um, stress
yes.
hormones are toxic.
So when they become very toxic, this is a lot. I love this
This is
doc.
this,
When
this
you
is a
breathe it
lot.
in, it's just that it becomes a stressor on top of what you're going through, and
Yeah,
those
so like
toxins. Yeah.
we have to learn to take baby steps in self love, simplifying our life,
Hmm.
saying no more than yes to things, and creating a little bit of space and room for ourselves to take a breather and be with ourselves, especially
Wow.
women. We're not good at sitting and being with ourselves because then you have to feel your feelings. But if you don't feel your feelings, you'll continue wearing those old trauma feelings. You won't process them, right?
Yes. Truly.
EMDR is great because it can just take the trauma out of it with that rapid eye movement. So
Yep.
I highly recommend that. But I think like the environment in which we live, like this is why, I changed my life too. I adopted 3 rescued horses. One was completely shut down and wild. I'm just saying that, the lifestyle that we've been put into by default, so unconsciously, this is life takes over, uh, is not sustainable for who
Mm.
we are spiritually as a human being to thrive. It's really hard for women to thrive. And so, I'm just going to go to a farm and live with my horses, and we're going to start doing spiritual retreats and breathing meditation with my horses and
Mhm.
all kinds of other things. Bring
Wow.
women that needed to sit down and just sit down and breathe and be.
That's right. I when you go to a spiritual retreat and you say when you don't identify with your feelings, and individuals out there are listening, shaking their head, said, "Yes, I give more than I receive.
Yeah.
I don't. I choose. not derogatory towards anybody, but I choose not to feel because maybe I'm too busy to feel. And you're saying slowing down, being near the horses, grounding, breathing is one of the most advantageous ways to really get in touch with your organs and with your body, basically to help with
Yeah.
that
The
relationship.
animals, yeah, especially whales, elephants, and horses, yeah, they have resonance and very a couple of feet away where your heart will start syncing with their heartbeat. You
Wow.
drop your, yeah. There's a lot of research on that. It's not voodoo stuff, it's research.
I love this. Like, so when you're with your horses, and I'm not trying to change subject, it's I've heard that. I remember in the past I had one friend that would do therapies with horses, and they found that their like heart rate variability would change a lot of
Yeah.
times when they were near the horses.
Yeah. The only caveat is in the world of therapy horses, the focus is on helping humans, but you have to provide the horse with an outlet to shake off those energies so they can be balanced and they don't take it on, because animals will take things on. Like, if you have an animal, maybe your animal companion should go, but they
Mhm.
feel so responsible because you're so needy, they feel that they have to stay longer.
Wow.
Normally they would already go and transition, but they're just hanging around. I'm telling my kitty, Charlie, when you're ready, I love
Oh.
you. You tell me you go. I'm not gonna like cry and hold you on this planet because I need you. And that happens with the therapy horses. So depends on an organization. Sometimes they're aware of it. Sometimes they don't do anything, but sometimes they do provide ways for horses to regain their own balance, because even with humans I feel like women overgear and take on other people's pain and energies. But you said something about being busy. I'll tell you that we all have addictions,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
busyness is busy life, but sometimes busyness is, if they gave you a day off you would get busy so you don't think and feel. I
That's
certainly was
right.
in that position because it was easier.
Yes, that's that rings
Because
true
it
for
was
me.
easier. It was much easier to just, I'm going to get 10 things done today because I have to. I don't have to address some deeper issues in the relationship because they're too painful, for example, because there's no solution, for example, because I would have to leave and I can't. There's different things in our lives that are complicated. And
Wow.
but addiction is, like one of my mentors says, it's not if you have an addiction right now, it's what form of addiction do you have.
Oh, that's
For me, it
that's
was busyness and work, honestly, because for me, work at a certain point was my saving grace because that's something I knew how to do to help people, you know?
yes. That's a really good point, Doc,
So,
because
hmm
when you work yourself to the bone, and honestly, I'll say accused. I don't like to use the word accused. I've been my therapist as well. Have said that I'm a workaholic, and
me too. I have been to,
have
yeah,
you been to like they say
yeah,
no, like I don't have crazy addictions or nothing, but the addiction is work, and
yeah.
I do you
It's very,
find
it's very subtle, It's not like you are drunk. It's just a coping mechanism because there's no balance in your life or my life. It's like it's out of balance, and it's not our fault.
But one of the things that I think, though, Doc, is that the coping mechanisms, I would find
Yeah.
out this that in my heart of hearts, that sometimes when you talk about being too busy, I started doing more therapy where I would start recognizing it in Chinese medicine, like the stomach chi. My stomach would be very tight. You said the diaphragm, it'd be locked down, and I would do my points. And I remember when I would always go at night. In the morning I would start to do a communication with my body, and I would start talking to the organs, and I would, I go
Oh,
through the organs, and I'm like, okay,
oh,
so I'll go through it and I'll say, oh, here's my, I would go down to my stomach because I had a surgery, doc, in 2017, a ruptured ulcer. So I
oh
talked to my,
no!
oh, I did. I almost died. Seriously, no sympathy trying to get it. I really almost died. I I remember talking to my stomach, and one of the things that gets me is that I get this little catch up in my diaphragm, right where the stomach sits, and the pancreas, and I'll get this tightness. And I really just started trying to unlock my diaphragm, like you're talking about, breathing through it. And one of the things that was profound to me was that I would feel less pressure and relief on my stomach when I felt like I was going to open up my lungs to almost like I wanted to cry. Like the feeling, or, because
The feeling,
emotionally, the feeling of
the
crying was
feeling.
so foreign. I was like, because I remember when I was a kid, I told myself not to cry because I was,
Oh, you
when I
were
was a
taught.
kiddo. Like, I
Oh,
remember that. My no anger towards my brother or my sister. So please don't think that. But they would always say, I'm so sensitive. And why are you doing that? So I remember I would say, I'm
oh,
not crying. And I used to always cry, like any puppy being hurt, anything. I would just be like, oh my God, I got to help them, you know? And I can tell now that that lung reaction to like get rid of the toxins, breathe out the toxicity was stagnant. And I'm just agreeing like that is true.
okay.
Like
You
you've
took it
got to
in.
find those
You,
things that are
you took
stagnant.
it in. Oh, wow. So you are a highly empathetic individual
Hmm.
that was not being seen as a kid, and especially as a male.
Yes.
So,
Yep.
there's a problem with sacred masculine
Mm.
energy. It's coming. It's coming. Like I see more male, and there more male therapists that go pursue that. And so, because I feel women are getting a lot of support, but men struggle. They're on their own. So
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
podcasters aren't good because they're going into that more sacred masculine. So it's happening. But I'm sorry that you had to go through. But yeah,
Oh,
it's a
it's
tears. Tears turned on serotonin.
yes. Like tears turn on serotonin. I did not
Yeah,
realize that.
yeah,
Really?
yeah. I was just reading somewhere recently. I didn't know it either. It's like, of course, when you
That's
cry, it's like the rain came and there is a sun coming after the rain, right? After you cry,
oh,
it's like a relief. We need to cry. So
we do need to
do
cry.
crying. Yes, do some crying.
I
I'm
appreciate
sorry
this,
about your
doc. No,
stomach.
this is
Mm.
that's what I to me it's knowing that the pathways to healing are finding those hidden emotions or find those hidden traumas. And you, like you said, you may not even have to go find them. I like what you say because we're so busy. I would rather just let's just get the problem fixed so I can move on. But sometimes,
Forward and upward.
yeah, that's right. That's right.
Because who we are right now is the result of our story, our past.
Yes.
We're not now who we are. We're going to become something else depending on the new story we want to tell.
Mm,
So it's like sometimes people are stuck in their pain, and it's more almost like a competition. How much more happened to me? And it's like
that's
it
right.
happens with us, not to us. It's like the whole thing is complicated, but the solution and the simplicity is like more focus on self-love and what it even means, and doing things you love.
Mm,
When I was a kid, you could lock me in the room and I would draw horses. I had no horses, no experience, no family connections, no opportunities. It was in Poland. It's no horses. And, we have certain loves and passions, and sometimes it's from past lives
mhm.
if you're into that stuff,
Yeah.
because otherwise you can't explain it. And so I didn't have horses in my life until my 50s. Nothing,
Wow.
zero.
So
Really.
now it's the time that you had it, and this
But
like
it's
you
like it is the internal, real deep joy. It's like the reconnection with who you are. And sometimes when you
that's
were a kid, you had something that you really loved,
that's
you know.
crazy. Yes. Good.
It
That's
is
crazy
crazy
good.
because I
Crazy
think
good.
we are spiritual beings having a physical experience. We are spiritual beings. We are souls. We are eternal.
Wow.
And
So
so this is so much more than EBV. EBV is like, I almost feel like EBV is, face saying, where the heck are you going? I'm having a ball, but you're going the wrong direction because I'm having a ball. So it's like, are you listening?
no, that's my next question, Doc. Was if we know that it's a mechanical ish, type of infection or however you want to call it, that it is like a wake up call in the sense that you say, where are you going? Like you must be disconnected to yourself in some way because this thing is trying to maybe veer you in a different direction.
Yeah, what happened to you basically is this question. What happened to my life? What happened to me? Where is this where is the vulnerability, the physical weakness and emotional weakness? Why is this virus raging? And it's not to
Oh,
point like blame, like, oh, it's my fault that I did that. No, life is complicated. However, moving forward, if you know that the virus is mechanical, it takes emotion out of it. And if you know, okay, there is a process, you learn about your body, you're going to see the answers, the body will speak, you're going to get what you need at a given point in the process. And If it's EBV, it has to budge. It has to budge.
Mm,
If nothing budges with the protocol, then it's not EBV. Or it's mold and it murks everything,
mm-hmm.
which is about
Yes.
probably 60% of our community is mold. I had it too, 4 houses in a row.
Really?
uh, yeah, I got
Wow.
pretty sick. Um, and then the last thing I want to mention, which is completely ignored, is Wi-Fi technology.
Mm.
Smart
Wi-Fi
meters,
technology
smart meters
changes.
and routers are very powerful and on a cellular level. And so that really instigates EBV. And if you have Wi-Fi and mold and EBV, good luck to you. That's like a triple whammy. So this is what I had in this house. I moved into this house. I bought it to escape mold, and mold inspector missed it. So I bought the house. And so I then had to remediate. But I also moved in. I had a smart meter I was waiting to remove.
Hmm.
And I set up my office here. The smart meter is right there below that wall. And I didn't know that I have mold in the bathroom yet at that point. And I
Mm-hmm.
had a lot of stress because it's mold after mold. I got sick. And then I had complicated situation in my marriage. And after, when you move, you don't eat very well. You just
Mm-hmm.
rush and pack and unpack. That was my first bout with EBV, but it was short. So I developed vertigo. First time
Wow.
in my life,
Vertigo.
vertigo. That's all. Because my thyroid is solid. I speak my voice.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so 2 days and I could fix it. I had to move my desk and call the company again to speed up removal, and then I found the mold. But literally, I ran down to the kitchen and dusted the EBV supplements that I always have just in case. And 2 days later, I was fine, and it has never returned.
Oh
But so this is why when I heard about you mention your mom, it's like we have to talk because this is crazy.
man. Oh
We just
yeah.
need a couple of months.
Just need a couple of months.
Just a
I
couple of
mean,
months.
and
Education, the process, and she'll live her life if it's EBV.
she's if we can, Doc, I know it's like I'm so thankful for your time to come with me. I'm saying like I can maybe get your contact info and talk with you about her because
Yeah,
she had above 600, 700
yeah,
levels,
yeah.
and but I'm with you. Dr. Kashi, when you come back on, when we talked about mold and we talked about, when you start your other book, it's not even that. Just come back and we can talk about. You come back on. We can talk about different angles of Epstein-Barr, or
Well,
even
yeah,
like,
think about what you still want to discuss, and let's schedule and talk again. Yeah, absolutely.
okay.
It's my pleasure. It's fun. Yeah,
No, I
absolutely.
just want to say thank you so much, and this has been a pleasure. I'm not kidding. It's book in my at my office at the house. It's like it's right
Oh,
there when I deal with it. But when we stop here, we'll get your contact. So don't jump off just yet. But so Dr. Kasia, do you have like Instagram or like your website? Can you give us that where we can find you?
yes. So the first thing, it's important for us to have a legacy and have advocacy and have accurate information.
Mm-hmm.
And so we pride ourselves on our website, which is very easy to find. It's EBV Help, HELP,
Okay.
ebvhelp.com. So people can take a quiz. People can find a lab without the doctor if the doctor refuses. That happens.
Mm,
We have a flow chart where you are. Are you diagnosed? Do you know if you have EBV or not? Like where to go in the journey because people are so fatigued. So you can find everything. You can find all these interviews, including yours, if you allow. We will post it
yes.
there. And thank you. And free workshops. We announce them there. We have those 50 trainings. We put it on one website. We have a lot of blogs. Recently, what did I do? H. pylori and EBV,
Mm-hmm.
and most recently NAC. I wrote about NAC.
Oh, I
And
love
so
that.
on that website, everything is referenced. You can go to PubMed. Everything is searchable. So if I talk about, inflammation of the eye and different studies, it's going to be right where you click and there's a study.
Oh,
So it's important that people go there and get their bearings, diet, this, that, you know, link to the book, everything is there. Everything is there. So that's where people should start to educate themselves and not go to Google and not go to support groups. Can be really tricky.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
tricky. And so we know where we can come see your information. And so
You have such beautiful advocacy yourself. And I think it's going to help, like energetic, it's going to help a lot of individuals, and that energy will just,
it's gonna
magnify.
be great.
So
It's gonna be
it's going
good.
to be great. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity for me to speak and open my chakra and actually share, because, and I didn't explain all that in the book. The book is just, here's what we know about EBV, here's what to do, but it's a
Yes.
life journey, to
It is
be
a journey.
a better you, who you are, like to really honor yourself better.
Oh,
That's the
this is
healing journey. The healing journey is you healing, and
that's
the
right.
virus will go turn off
That's right. This is great. We're going to do more talks, and I'm just glad we have a friendship
anytime.
now. And so, everyone out there that has
Anytime.
Epstein-Barr or have had that or don't identify yourself with it, just say that if you are struggling or if you've had encountered with it, or you know anybody that does, please make sure you visit Dr. Kasia's website, find her information, and
Start
we'll put it on the
reading,
show
start
notes.
watching. Yeah, start
Yep.
watching, start
Watch the
reading.
videos.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Doc, and we really appreciate you. And from all of us here at Ancient Health Podcast, for everybody out there, just let us know about any comments you have about Epstein-Barr virus, so we can make sure on the next podcast that we have with Dr. Kasia, we can really talk about it. That'd be great. Thanks, Doc. I appreciate you.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.